Okay, we are now continuing our journey through the phonetic alphabet of English, the sounds of English. We've looked at the speech organs, the nasal cavity for producing sounds where you let the S3 go through the nose instead of through your mouth. We looked at the tip of the tongue, the blade of the tongue, the front of the tongue, the back of your tongue, and quite a lot of other things, and we went through the consonantal system, the sounds that we do not typically use for singing with, namely p, b, t, d, ch, j, g, g, f, v, z, th, s, z, sh, j, h, l, r, w, and ja. Okay. Now we going to look at the vowels, and we'll start with the front vowels, the E, I, and A. Okay, and these are pronounced with a degree of approximation, a bit of nearing part of your tongue towards something. And what we are trying to approach here or near is which we use the part of the tongue that we use in producing front vowels is the front of it or the tip of it. Okay, so take your tip of the tongue and put it as high as you can, as close to the heart palate, so teeth, okay, alveolar ridge, okay. Okay, you can't really take it further. This is the cardinal E, and you can feel that the tip of the tongue is very close to touching the soft palate or the uppermost part of the alveolar ridge E. Then you can lower it a little and retract it a little, move it a little back, and then you have I, right? If you lower it some more, then you have E, and if you lower it just a little more, you have A. So E, I, A. And all of these vowels, simple because they are not rounded. The lips are unrounded. They form like a slit, right? E, I, A. Okay. Then we can go to the middle of the tongue, and very relaxed sound, just a is the one that we find in America. Some Americans might say America, use the S sound, but Brits would just say America. So this schwa sound, this inverted E sound, is a relaxed sound, and you find it in syllables that are not accentuated, not stressed. You can't really find it in a stressed syllable. There you are more likely to find the lengthened counterpart. Is a short vowel, as was I, right? Short I. Is a middle one, and A is also middle. Middle length, perhaps short. I'm not really sure. It doesn't really matter for these distinctions here. But is definitely a short one. And then we have the lengthened counterpart, as in which you find in word, right? Word is easier to say in American because you use another kind of vowel where you can actually keep the rounding of your lips. We find this rounding with W, don't we? Because in British English it's hard because you have to quickly unround your lips when saying the vowel, so it's a word, right? So rounding up the lips, very tight rounding at that actually, and then the unrounded sound, word, right? With the, the voice t sound, word. Okay, right. So it's a bit tricky actually. Then we move on to another middle vowel, slightly if you lower in the middle of your tongue just a bit, then you have as in but. It's not the same as in cat, but, and not the same as in not, which is unrounded. Danes typically mistake these two when they see an O or a U or something. They produce something which is in the middle. I mean, it's like a sound which is neither of the two. So it's a problem really. But okay, distinguishing these two sounds is important. This one is unrounded, but this one is rounded, not. Okay. Okay. So these are the middle vowels, the the and and then we go to the back vowels. If we lift the back of the tongue as high as we can and round it as we can, as in two, ooh. Okay, if we lower it just a little bit, then we have sorry about that. As in book or book. Sometimes some speakers might just say this sound and shorten it a bit and say book. Okay, but others will say book. Okay, right. Okay. We can take other. If we lower it some more, then we get this right, which is quite low actually. And as low as it gets would be as in part, the doctor sound. Say for me, okay? Now is rounded, but this one as in father is not. Is also rounded, and then we have between, a little, you have the tongue just a little higher, the back tongue just raised a little more, and then in other you find or. Isn't that so? Or is it Yes, it is. Just a little higher okay. Okay, and then you raise it very much in ooh, okay. And these are the vowels as such. Then we have, combinations of them that we call diphthongs, two sound vowels. Okay. If we start with the I here and move the sound towards then you have ear here. Okay. If you start with the S sound and go toward the I, then you have A as in day. Or if you take this one here, you start with the O sound in book, and let it gradually sink towards the A sound. You have or, okay? And you can also have the combination with the O sound that we find in not O. Okay, and what's done here is actually you start with the rounding, right? Back tongue right? And then you move it towards the I sound, which is not rounded, so you have to unround the lips in the process, I take it, because otherwise it would be okay, so it's oi. Okay, so you start with rounded lips, the first sound, and then you move it, the sound towards the I, the rather high, the either close, as we call it, close, front vowel. I. Okay, right, oi. And then we have this sound, we find in, and what you do here is a bit tricky. You actually start with the middle tongue vowel, the middle of the tongue, lowered position, fairly lowered position, as in right, and then move the sound towards the I sound, so you have I. Okay, I, this is mine. Okay, I as in my. Okay. Okay, you also use that sound to say this one, starting again in moving towards the I, move towards the isn't it? We have to, okay? So we get ow as in how, okay? And we could also produce this one, starting with the rather relaxed one, and then moving towards the right. Americans might say okay, this is good. What we're looking at here is standard British pronunciation. Of course, you can find people saying other things. In Liverpool, they might not say they would say right. instead of but, they would say but, and instead of love, they would say love, and so on and so forth. You can find, but what we look at here is a sort of standard pronunciation that would, in a way, go undetected. People would not stigmatize you for it, okay? So that's why we go through that accent. It's an accent that many people, very many people can understand, okay? Yeah, so that's why. It's not to be snobs or something. Right, that was the vowels, okay? There's things I forgot to say, yes, I mean, rounded, of course, so also here you might have a problem. If we think about how, for instance, you start with the ah sound, which is not rounded, and then you move towards rounding, so in the process your lips would be rounding. Ow, okay. Right, okay. What is problematic for Danes is something we want to look at now, because now we're going to look at, minimal pairs. So we produce, we can focus on two sounds. We have words that only differ with respect to one sound. So, for instance, I as in sit and E is in seat. Important that you don't just say si. Use the long counterpart for both, as do many Spanish or Latin speakers, people in Latin language as their mother tongue. So sit, seat, wet, and then we have a as in wait. So and a, wet, wait. We can take and bat as opposed to but. O as in so as opposed to or. So and saw. As opposed to as in bad and bed, which is particularly difficult, I take it, perhaps for Norwegians, that sometimes, they would say all the time, bad, and something like that, okay? Norwegians, but yeah, perhaps not. Then we have the and the right, as fast as opposed to first, okay, right. Let's have a few more. The b sound, right, round your lips, right, b, and then we have biting your tongue, b, very, very, and we have b as opposed to p. So this is one distinction to do with, vocal cords vibrating or not, starting with vibration, bi, and then no vibration, pi, okay? As opposed to thin, as opposed to thing. Right, as in alive. It's not always live, as opposed to arrive. Some East Asian speakers might have problems here, saying alive, arrive, okay? Catch, it's not s and sh and sh. So as you have c as opposed to she. Fan, van, fat, hat, and sing, and thing, and with, whiz, and page as opposed to pays, so page, pays, and as opposed to j. So we have bad as opposed to badge. Okay, right. Okay, yeah. Other minimal pair exercise for you to access at YouTube. And I should also alert you to the fact that you can hear the sounds produced by a native speaker here. Sometimes he screws up. I think he screws up with the r sound. He says but other than that, it's fairly reliable. Okay, right. Okay, that was all I wanted you to see. And now see here. So now time to do a lot of exercises. Okay, thank you very much for listening.